Hello and welcome to OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Addison and Abigail Mowat.
Tech Wizard Abbas.
What?
And Tech Wizard.
Tech Wizard, Abigail.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I'm from the tax office.
I am far too interesting to be employed in the tax office.
And you're barely able to count.
Indeed.
I mean, that's not even remotely true, but still, we'll just run with it. You are dysnumeric.
Uh-huh.
Can you stop pulling anime phases, please? Phases? I'm entering my anime phases. I'm going to run away. And then the hands come out behind me. As I know.
Like the Barry run from the Goldbergs.
I think it's called the Naruto run.
Yeah, but he also runs like that. But it's very funny.
Everybody runs like that. Quick, run away. Even Japanese people now run like that. They think it's faster. I think imagine doing a real like live action anime where they do all the things that happen in anime but they do it live action.
They've made a live action, was it Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, but I mean like they actually do like the storytelling in the same way.
So you just like stand very still and the only thing that's moving is your mouth the entire time.
Yes, and then you also do all the what's it called again? Oh, what's it called? It's not supposition or preposition. What's it called?
Disposition. No, disposition.
No,
I know what you're thinking of, and I'm trying to think of the word as well. Oh, what's it called? Exposition.
That's the one. They do all the exposition all the time. Every time. Every minute of every conversation.
There is nothing but exposition.
There's constant exposition. And then there's always that, oh, but how did he survive that? Defense level 9,000!
That's the one thing in Deadly Sins I don't fully understand. The whole, oh no, it's got power level of 300,000 or whatever it is. I don't, there's literally no point in that. Have you gotten to the end yet?
No, stop watching it, I'm busy.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay.
What have you been doing?
I have been pulling my hair out. I've not played anything.
Because of a game? Oh, you haven't played anything?
No, I apologize. I have not had any time this week to play.
So, no wonder I've got a bad back, constantly having to carry you. Right.
To be fair, you've also been busy, so we've not had any time to play together. And also, my Xbox has been kind of on the fritz a little bit.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. It's just being a bit slow.
Are you talking about the internet connection?
It might be the internet connection.
That's
I don't know.
That's
we did try. We did actually try and play some GTA, but it kept kicking me. Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean I don't blame it. Most people kick you, but I never said they should. I just said they do.
Oh.
I don't think I heard all of that in one go because you're.
Oh. Sad now.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand what it is about the gain on my mic, but for some reason, it's very finicky with me, isn't it? Like this is in the red line, by the way. Just to tell you, this is hovering between the orange and red. And then if I talk even slightly louder, we're deep into the red. I don't really understand. Oh, there we go. It's redlined.
You're a yellow for me.
Yeah, I don't know why. My mic is oddly sensitive to me. Shh, it's alright, lad. It's alright.
Anyway, so we tried to play some GTA, but the problem was that every time we finished a game, it would just kick me out the actual game itself.
Yes.
And it just refused to let me back in. So I honestly don't know what's happening. I need to switch it on and see if there's an update or something like this, because that might solve it.
I don't think it's an update. Well, it might solve it, but it's not an update that's the problem. I think it's just that system goes through periodic tummy aches, basically.
I know, because we've had this issue before.
Yeah. And it's always been a bit, finicky with you, because you could never join somebody else's game. We had to join yours until recently. So
but for what we did play, I did enjoy it. We played, I think, a couple new missions.
A couple of missions I'd never done before. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I think I've almost completed them all.
Yes. We need to do.
I like the fact you didn't actually trust me on that one. You had to think about it.
No, it was. Oh, what was it called? We needed to do one. We have to steal a car or something like that with a Chinook.
Oh yes. I don't
we
want to do that again.
Yeah, but we stopped doing it before we actually finished it. But we need to do that one. And then there's the effing lasers, where we steal the planes and the helicopters and stuff.
Okay.
There's 2 Chinook-based ones, basically.
Well, it's because there's a few that we can't do without more than 2 players. Three
There's
players,
one
2
that
or
we
3
can't
players.
do that requires 4 players, but that's not this.
Okay.
These 2 are 2-player.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
So I've not really been playing anything else. Was unfortunately time just got away with me a little bit this week.
Okay.
I'm still finding it a bit difficult trying to be in college 5 days a week at the moment, and also getting work done outside of college.
As in college
Sorry.
work done at home.
That and also this.
I played a little bit more Rome, and that's when I realised it's not Empire Divided that I'm playing, it's Imperator, which is basically the main game comes with 2 campaigns. This is the second one.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, they both sound very similar.
Yeah. The name Empire Divided works when the Empire's fractured into 4 factions.
Okay.
So that's why I got confused, because it is a divided empire, but that's not what the name of that one is actually called, because the Empire Divided is actually a DLC that I don't have. But yeah, so for me it was, how do I put this? It's been fun, but I don't know. I don't think I would ever go back to just play this one. If I actually wanted to play this time era, I would just put in Rome.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Rome Total War was you started as one of 4 Roman factions. And when you became powerful enough, you had to fight yourself, basically, the other Romans. Yeah. And it was actually quite difficult to fight the barbarians at the beginning, or the Greeks, or the Carthage. It was quite difficult, but the biggest fight was in the middle of the play, where you were fighting the other Romans.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, the main campaign, as long as you stop a rebellion, in the same, as long as you stop a rebellion, you never fight the Romans, and you only fight the Romans in this. The ones that, if you stop rebellions that have broken away from you, but even then, I'm only really feeling challenged right now, and that's after I've declared war on 70%, 75% of the factions that are left on the map at once.
Okay.
It's just a bit. Rome is massively overpowered, as it would have been at the time, but it's massively overpowered. So you don't really. The majority of Rome's legionary infantry is very heavy infantry. So you don't fight anything that can actually stand toe to toe with you properly.
So do you feel like it's a bit not too easy, but how to describe it?
It's historically accurate, but it relies quite heavily on its rebellions to make you vulnerable.
Because I
don't think there was that many rebellions. I just don't.
Because is there any point in playing something that feels kind of like one-sided? If you get my meaning, like it's I know what you mean. Like
what I'm saying to you is, I think once I've completed this campaign, I'll probably just
stop.
I
Have you been enjoying it at least?
Yeah, a little bit. And now, especially now that I've declared war on the known world all at the same time. But
now that I can take on the globe.
Yeah, but frankly speaking, if I want an actual challenge, I'll put in almost any of the previous Total War games. I won't play this one. Napoleon doesn't work very well. It sort of falls apart after a while. It starts to, like, the game itself actually starts to, like, fall apart. Mm-hmm. Same thing happened with Civ 5 for me, but any of the other Total Wars, Empire, put that in. Rome, put that in. Medieval 2, put that in. Like, I'd pay any of the others over this one, because this one's just a bit of a walk in the park. Even Shogun 2. This one's just a bit easy.
It sucks in a way, because you want it to be challenging, because without a challenge, it's not much of a game.
I think a big part of that is the fact that they've... Like, see, if you play the main campaign, you can't play as the majority of factions. You have to buy DLC to play as the factions.
Oh, that's not fair.
So if you want to play as Sparta, I think you have to actually own the DLC to play as Sparta. What? No, you've not finished the game.
Yeah.
You've not finished the game. Either you can or you can't. Don't go making me pay £5 to play. That's just ridiculous.
That's how they reel you in.
You know what else I've gone back to recently?
What?
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh, KOTOR.
No.
Darn it.
The Old Republic, not Knights of the Old Republic.
Sorry, I just heard Old Republic.
It's
what's Star Wars of the Old Republic?
Star Wars: The Old Republic is...
Is that the mobile game that we were playing?
No. No, I don't play that anymore because it's a scam.
What was that called?
I don't know. I can't remember. You've got a good point, actually, but I can't remember.
I kind of miss playing that game. It was fun.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Ah, right.
The Old Republic is the MMO that's based 300 odd years after the KOTOR 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. So 3,600 years before the movies.
My little brain did a brain fart.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've been playing my light-sided Sith Lord.
I am the Sith Lord, all bow down to me.
Light-sided Sith Lord.
I am a Sith Lord.
Don't bow to anyone would be more appropriate.
I bow to myself.
Just doing roly-polies all over the place.
No, just in front of a mirror, just bowing consistently. That's how to defeat me. I must respect myself, so therefore, put a mirror in front of me. I have to do it.
The same way that they beat Medusa. Yeah, it's nice to give that game regular breaks if you're a completionist, because it's too much of the same thing at once.
Yeah.
But I went back and I did actually accidentally pick up some missions I'd already done and just like, no, I don't want to do these again, and had to abandon them. But there's a festival going on at the minute. I thought, I'll do these missions and see what happens there. And so I've been having a look at them. You run around touching ingredients to make meals. If you do it right, that you win. And another one, because you also, a different mini game, you run around delivering dishes as a remote controlled droid. Mm-hmm. And it's all about this festival of something or other where it's about giving to the disadvantaged people. I think it might be a Christmassy type thing. It might have been a Halloween thing. It might be a Christmas thing. It could be a Thanksgiving thing then.
It sounds more like Thanksgiving then.
But it's run by two huts, and one hut seems to be genuinely trying to help, and the other one seems to be trying to use it as a way of making the money. But there was two things I noticed that were pretty interesting to me. One of them was that there was a slight mistake in what they said, because one of the subtitles, because it's speaking Huttese, so it's written down in English so you can understand it. Mm-hmm. So subtitles are there, and it's high dollar donators.
Yeah.
Well, $1 isn't a thing in Star Wars. So that obviously doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Is it has to? What is it? What's the currency they use in Star Wars? I can't actually remember.
It's a credit.
Of course. I knew it was something like that.
And the other thing was that the layout when you're talking to the characters, it switches from the typical the Old Republic communication, which is like the wheel in the middle with the options.
Yeah.
And it switches back to the original KOTOR 1 and 2, which is the writing comes at the very top of the screen and then the options are at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, they've changed the system when you're talking to people who are part of that to the old system. As if they're trying to hark back to the Knights of the Old Republic. And so I'm not entirely sure why, because there's nothing that I've seen so far that's specifically like the Knights of the Old Republic in this thing yet.
Don't know.
So I'm trying. Well, of course you don't know, but that's an interesting thing that I noticed. All in all, though, I'm just enjoying what I've been doing, just continuing the story. It was an interesting thing where I used a quick travel to jump back to my ship once I was finished on a certain planet. And you're supposed to go from the planet to this sort of like space dock.
Yeah.
And then you walk across this platform. And then you go into another lift, and that takes you to where your ship's parked. Right?
Yeah.
Into your ship. It's either into a big hangar or it's straight into your ship. And I had jumped past it because I'd used the fast travel. So I had to go out my ship and approach this meeting area from the opposite side. Because obviously I'm supposed to get ambushed by the person who wants to talk to me. But I'm coming in from the other side.
Yeah.
So I thought, what's going to happen here? I could see myself approaching the little circle area I'm supposed to approach. So I walk up from the other side, right? Nobody's there. And then I ping in. So I'm walking in from the exit, essentially. And then I ping to the opposite side of the circle and walk in from the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy talks to me, and then the conversation finishes. And when it finishes, I'm standing at the entrance. And the person I was with is standing at the exit. Because they stayed where they were when the video started, the cutscene, but I got pinged across the map.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to come in from the other side. So I was just left standing there staring at my companion who was staring straight at me across the map. It was almost as if I was supposed to meet her. Because I actually got told by the guy I was speaking to, one of your own is trying to betray you. And then when the cutscene stopped, she was just standing staring at me.
I wonder who it could be.
I think it might be that one.
I think it's the one that's giving me the death stare.
She's actually... The interesting thing about it is that if you're light side, you sort of have this Jedi who's like...
Yeah.
Who's trying to kill your master, and he's really like overly committed to it. It's not very Jedi-like. And he has an apprentice that's able to detect whether or not someone is telling the truth.
Okay.
And you take that person on as your apprentice. And if you're dark side, you can obviously twist them to the dark side. But if you're light side, you start this sort of like subversion campaign where the two of you try to promote the light side within the Sith Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Not joining the Jedi or the Republic, but just making light-sided Sith.
Yeah.
And so she's probably the one that wouldn't. Apart from the romantic interests. They probably wouldn't either, just to make the story run properly.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually rules it down a number. But I think I've worked it out. But it was just funny, just to see this all in red hooded figure standing staring at me. And my character's got massive feet.
Like yourself.
It looks like he's wearing like something like clown shoes.
So what size are you? Like, was it 11 or something?
11
like
to
that?
12.
Yeah. My little feetsies are only 7, 6.5 to 7.
That's not like most of the girls I know are 5. You've got large feet for a girl.
No, that's another insecurity I have.
Yeah,
Sad
you should
now.
be good at swimming.
I'm actually terrible at
with
swimming.
those flippers.
Last time we went swimming, you got told off by a lady because you were being critical of my swimming technique. Do you
Yeah.
not remember that?
Yeah, I was, but you're actually terrible at it, so you need all the help you can get.
She was lovely, and I felt a lot better after she told you off.
Yeah, but I still told you what to do, didn't I? Because I was right.
I still felt bad.
That's fine. I mean, that in its nature is
She was
actually
really lovely.
It's actually why we have two parents. So that when one is having
You
to be
think
harsh,
of me
the
as
other
a
one can't.
child. I am not a child.
No, I never said that, but I just said
I'm
that's
2 years younger than you.
I just said that's a sort of microcosm or explanation as to why we have two parents. So one can be mean while the
I'm
other one's being
an
kind.
adult. I'm
didn't-
an adult. I sleep with my light off and everything.
Do you or do you not have Barbie on your duvet cover?
I don't have Barbie on my duvet cover.
Well, that joke's ruined.
What was the joke going to be?
No, you were just supposed to join in and pretend that you did. That's all. It's not. It's not the best piece of writing anyone's ever done, but it was.
I mean, I do still fall asleep to watching Cartoon Network because I need weird happiness before I fall asleep, and that's weird happiness for me.
I've never done that. Like watched Cartoon Network.
Really?
Uh,
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm 400 years old, so.
You're not 400 years old.
No,
I
we
actually can't
never
remember how
had
old
it.
you are.
So, how long? Right, okay, so that's what I've been playing, and it's been fun. We are going to have a few conversations now about some things.
Which Tommy will direct.
Okay, so one is that seems to have been a bit of an issue with some games that are on the
The Switch.
the Xbox One games Microsoft shop.
I got the wrong story then.
They cannot be. We'll start with this one. I'm sure you can find which one it is.
Okie dokie.
They can't be re-downloaded by people who already own them. So there's been an issue where people can't download these games. This is as of the 29th of October 2021.
That's about, at the moment, that's 3 days ago.
Yeah, or 4 or 5, something like that. I'll just quickly say a list of them. It looks like they're trying to fix it at the minute, and the list is Defender's Quest, Valley of the Forgotten DX. What is a DX for it to be forgotten? And why has it got its own valley? Anyway, Past Cure, Cubicolor, Gemini Heroes Reborn, Slash Dash, Monkey Pirates, Qbert Rebooted, the Xbox One edition, Jump Jet Rex, Mechazoo, Electronic Superjoy, Marble Void, and The Station. The Station is the only one I really recognise of those games. Which seems to be like a sort of adventure, sort of like a what happened in space sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you arrive and everybody's disappeared and you have to find out what's happened. I think it is anyway. And also Gear Gauntlet, Tetrabot and Co., Mystery Castle, Frizzy, Gemini Heroes Reborn, DE, and Pix the Cat.
So these are, sorry, can I just clarify? So these are games that people have bought, but they can't re-download them.
Yes, for some reason they've disappeared from the online shop, so you can't download them. They're fixing it from the looks of it.
Well, that's good.
But it's just, I thought we'd say that. Activision has bought a developer. Now, we've discussed before
Ooh.
that Activision, who make Call of Duty, when they lost Bungie, were basically just making Call of Duty games. They don't have anything else. Now, they do very, very well, but they're a diminishing return, and they're not big enough to keep an entire company that size running the way it wants to be run on its own. Right?
Yeah, because you can't solely rely on one game title.
And all the associated loot boxes, perks, and all the rest of it. Would you like to know why this is not a good thing, but why it's also a good thing?
Why is it not, and also why is it good?
Because the game studio is a mobile game studio, not a real game studio. And they're going to be put towards the task of making a shooter in the Call of Duty universe for the mobile phone.
Well, that'd be interesting
No,
to see how that works on mobile.
No,
Why?
it won't. Because it won't work.
Why?
Well, it's a part-time gamer thing. And I'm just sick of real gaming companies making games for part-time gamers. Like, I'm absolutely fine with part-time gamers, and there's a space for them. But if you're a part-time gamer, you shouldn't expect the system to work for you. It should work for the full-time gamers.
Not a purist.
Purist isn't really the thing. My point is that if you pick up a game and want to play Halo on your phone, which you can do, Halo 5, I think,
Yeah.
it shouldn't work as well as on a control pad or a PC. Because it should work for gamers, not you.
Yeah.
Gamepad as in controller.
I got that. I am smart.
Yeah, it's good because they're buying up a pointless little thing and then making a useless little thing with it, and it's not going to affect the rest of us, and hopefully it won't work out for them in the long run. Yay.
Quite a lot of bitterness you have.
Just towards companies that don't function the way they should. And you'll see why in a minute. Next story. Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick has asked for his salary to be cut until significant changes are made to the company's culture as a result of the fact that it's currently being sued by either the state of California or by people that have asked the states to do this or something like that. I don't know. It depends. I'm not entirely sure of how Americans word their lawsuits, so I don't know if they're being sued. Sorry, they, not he. If Activision Blizzard are being sued by the state of California, or if it's a lawsuit that's taking place within the state of California. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. So it alleges sexual discrimination, harassment, and frat boy culture. Kotick will only accept California's legal minimum salary of $62,500 and will not take any other bonuses or compensation.
But he had made something like 155 million, wasn't it?
Earlier this year.
Yeah. So
not as of really this year, but this year.
So it's not really a statement, if you will.
Yeah. Now, the issue
He's
that
already gotten his money.
The issue that we've got here is that we don't like to butt into political stuff that doesn't directly relate to gaming, right? So we'll talk about employment laws because there's a big issue of treating game developers fairly, and we need to do that to keep games being made. But the issue that I have is that when he's saying that he will not take a full paycheck until they need to let me see if I can work this one. Increase the percentage of women and non-binary people in the company by 50% over 5 years, and invest $250 million to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent. Well, what's that, like 2 years' wage to him? Kotick said the company was currently 23% women and non-binary. So he wants half the company to be women and non-binary. I mean, I'm obviously going to have a difficulty understanding this from the point of view of what if all of the men just identify as non-binary? That's the problem solved straight away. You don't need 250 million. Anyway, boosting Activision Blizzard.
I was trying to do the math in my head there as well, sorry.
Yeah, it's just if they did, you'd have 100% were women or non-binary, so I don't... Like, what does that... I don't understand how women fall into the same category.
Yeah.
As non-binary. Anyway, boosting...
So surely, if that's the case, then 25% would be women, 25% would be non-binary, and 50% would still be male. So you'd still have... So, are they...
Well, the issue you've got there is, one, is it equal opportunity or equal outcome you want? Two, equal to what? What percentage of the population is non-binary? And if he's focusing on non-binary, why is he focusing on that to the exclusion of other people? And if he's talking about non-binary, that's a trans issue. So why is he talking about women, men, and non-binary, and not trans women and trans men?
I've always thought that the most important thing is you get the right people for the job. That's my opinion.
That's number one. Like that's what these people. I'm obviously a racist. Seem to be mistaken on is that it's not about whether or not you are hired. It's about whether or not you have the opportunity to be, and you should have been.
Yeah.
Because if you had the opportunity to and you fluffed the interview, then that's nothing to do with your gender. And if you weren't hired because you're whatever, then that's just silly. But if that person just honestly thought somebody else was better for the job, even if they weren't, That's just at best them not doing their job. That's not discrimination.
I do understand why these quotas are put in place.
Yeah, but
I do.
they're just sexist and racist and heterophobic and like all sorts of things. If you end up with a system in which men can't be hired, do you think, for example, let me put it this way to you, do you think that the number of doctors should be 50% men and 50% women?
No, the number of doctors shouldn't care about gender. It should be who's going to save my life at the end of the day, who's going to do a better job.
Right, so
that's the most important thing.
So why would you want a quota? Because quotas do say that you need certain things.
I understand why they're put in place to stop any unfairness, but at times that isn't relevant. And I think that hopefully we've learned that. I believe that the most I don't really know how else to explain it other than if you're the best person for the job, you should be getting the job.
So no, I'm just asking. No, we understand that, but that's what quotas are supposed to solve somehow. So what I'm asking you, because you did suggest, well, you just said you understand why quotas are put in place. If you just said yourself they don't work, why would you?
I understand why they're put in place in terms of like the whole boys' club culture or any kind of.
Have you ever seen or witnessed the boys' club culture? I mean, hands up, I haven't, so I don't really know what you're talking about.
I've not been in that many workplaces, so no, but I have heard of people who have been in those kind of scenarios, and they say it's very, very difficult.
When was this?
Not long ago, in the last 5-6 years. And also, I would also just like to say it's also the other way around as well. Like, I've heard of places which are predominantly female-led, and the way it was described is, what a load of bunch of bees. I've never met so many bees in my entire life.
Snitches. And
this was a woman saying this was a woman saying it, not a man.
Because women actually get on worse with each other to some degree. I mean, I did hear it put.
Well, actually, no, yeah, it is. Because recently I've been looking at this thing about bullying, but bullying can happen at any age. And I actually found out that, and stereotypically, with males, it's a physical thing. So it's, come over here, I'm going to bop you on the nose, type of thing.
Yeah, outside you, sir. Queensberry rules. Bop, 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 bop.
Yeah, but with women, it's things like exclusion. So it's a psychological attack. It's indirect.
Well, I heard
males are typically direct. Females are typically indirect.
Well, I heard it put that males are physical or violent or aggressive or whatever, and that what women do when they're harming people is they use reputational damage.
There's that as well. Yeah. But also, do you know what's a really interesting thing? Typically, bullying between guys is more likely to result being faster. So like the bullying will stop quicker. And also people can be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
With females, it lasts a heck of a lot longer, and it's very unlikely that they'll ever be friends.
It's because contrary to the whole man standing with his leg on the table urinating
the Riker Pose.
No, because Riker's not like this, but it's not a Riker pose really, because the rest of his body language is not dominant. It's like, if anything, he's just displaying his genitals. He's not really actually trying to dominate proceedings. It's weird when it's not the same when he does it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but anyway.
But it is the Riker pose, yes, but it's not the same thing. But when they do that and then they act like they control the place, you know what it would be? Think of a movie that's made for the benefit of pushing feminism, and then think of any male authority figure in it. Yep, that, right? Very rare, almost doesn't exist, frankly. But that sort of non-physical bullying is very rare in men.
Yeah.
That's more likely to be a woman.
Yeah.
And it's a matriarchal thing, because women don't establish dominance in a society. They don't, how shall I put this, they don't get mates by through physical means. They do it by destroying everybody else's reputation.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And so, like, the male way of doing it, you could argue, is if structured properly, is actually a lot healthier.
Yeah, I can see healthy points in that.
You
Yeah.
could use it in fair, reasonable competition or combat, which is why sports are so important to young boys.
Mm.
But if you talk about the real bullying things where people put pictures up online and all that sort of jazz, that's a much more feminine thing. It either involves a woman or is done by a woman.
Yeah.
A man is a lot less likely to take a picture of my, winky sausage and then put it online. He's more likely to just laugh and then punch me in the face.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. Sorry, I totally interrupted you what you were saying, and I honestly can't remember what you were talking about.
I'm finding it difficult to understand how. I don't know how to put this, but you can't establish non-binary in a sort of like objective manner.
How do you mean, sorry?
Ask me if I'm non-binary and I say yes or no. How do you know?
It relies on your information, so they could be lying.
Even if, and I'm not, like, as I said, we're trying to be as apolitical as possible, even though this is very political. Even if you think non-binary is a thing, or if you don't, there is no way to objectively prove it.
So some people could be like lying on their application.
It doesn't
form
have
just
to be somebody could be lying on their application form. They could just pad their numbers.
Oh, so
it
like
could
the
be either
company
way.
could do it.
Anybody could do it. They actually, in America, they found that large numbers of white applicants to universities pretend to be Native American. And when they pretend to be Native Americans, 3/4 of those people who apply get in.
Wow.
Because affirmative action makes it less likely for you to get in if you're white and they've already hit the criteria. Same with Asian students. Once they hit their quoted limit, they can't bring in any more people. So even if those people are the best to go to that university, they're not allowed to. So they pretend to be from another race so that they can get in. Why would somebody not do that here to get a job? I mean, if you're telling me, would I pretend to be non-binary to feed my kids? I'd think about it. Wouldn't you?
I think take any opportunity out there.
Pardon?
I mean, I honestly don't know if I would. I think just because of my personality, you know what I'm like.
If you had children to feed, and you're telling me you wouldn't be able to do that, at least put it this way, would you be doing it on a moral principle, or you just don't think you'd be able to blag that hard?
A little bit of both.
It wouldn't be a moral thing for me. If I'm there feeding my kids and somebody says, well, I'm a science teacher. If you can't prove it on a piece of paper objectively, I'll give myself a bit more flexibility on that one. I can't hear you if you're saying anything because you keep moving away from the mic.
Sorry. If for me, I suppose it was a difference between eating and non-eating. I think anybody would do that. I honestly don't know enough about that community to really understand. I still.
Well, that's the point. You don't need to know enough about that community because we're talking about the potential for people to pretend. So it's not about knowing the community.
Anybody can pretend to be anybody. At the end of the day, anybody can pretend, but it's not right.
So I was just reading that the Activision Blizzard board has said that under Kotick, Activision Blizzard's market capitalization has increased from less than $10 million to over $70 billion, with an 8,100% increase in shareholder return between 2000 and 2020.
How is that relevant? Sorry?
It's just, the whole go woke, go broke thing.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if it applies to Activision Blizzard.
I don't know.
Just simply because of the fact that they earn so much of their money from what you could describe scientifically as predatory tactics. So would it be as impacted you know? Because people who go excessively woke when they're writing comic books or whatever struggle because people don't like the stories that people write. But this wouldn't technically affect loot box mechanics.
No, it wouldn't.
So would this be the one way in which you... Yeah, anyway. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that he was... Because I've said this before, he could have a massive...
empty thing.
But he could have a massive pay cut to have saved was it 800 employees that lost their job last year?
It was, yeah.
And yet...
I think it was actually the year before. I don't think it was it. Was it last year?
I think it was last year.
I have a feeling it was the year before, but anyway.
It was around about the time Apex Legends came out, and Apex Legends came out 2020.
My apologies if it feels like it was a longer time ago than that.
So basically, I just find it interesting that he's willing to take a pay cut for feminism and transgenderism, but he's not taking a pay cut for 800 of his current employees.
It's not a real pay cut. It's not a real pay cut because he made 155 million so far.
Right, well... Okay, it's not a material pay cut to a regular person, but if he is being paid less than he was, then technically it's a pay cut.
Yeah, but it's an empty
I
gesture.
understand that. It's quite empty because, it's not... But the point I'm making is it's even more empty because he's doing it to help potential employees, but he's not willing to take a pay cut to keep on actual employees.
Yeah, that's not right.
That's
not right.
This is virtue signaling at best.
I hate it when this happens. It's like a company will lose hundreds of employees or dozens of employees or whatever, and then all of a sudden, we're going to do this and we're going to bring more people on and all this kind of stuff. What happened to the people you just let go?
A new zero tolerance harassment policy company-wide, which will mean tougher rules and consistent monitoring across the entire company, and the strictest harassment and non-retaliation policies of any employer. Any Activision Blizzard employee found through our new investigative processes and resources to have retaliated against anyone for making a compliance complaint will be terminated immediately. In many other instances of workplace misconduct, we will no longer rely on written warnings. Termination will be the outcome, including in most cases of harassment based on any legally protected category.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's just like I can see people this stuff being used against them to fire them.
Yeah, because I think that it's a really dangerous game. I shouldn't say that. Not a game. It's a really dangerous thing that happens when you've had something happen within your company, and then you kind of go, hold. I don't know the phrase I'm trying to find.
Whole hog.
Hell for leather
on
implementing rules and things like that. But the problem is that then it becomes so strict that something that you may not necessarily think is going to get you in trouble does get you in trouble, and all of a sudden you're out of a job, and God knows what happens then. Yeah.
Nintendo slashes Switch production in face of chip shortage. There's an important chip in. This was a problem leading up to the. I was about to say leading up to the Pavarotti.
Shall we just end it there? Just not this podcast, just everything. Channel, existence.
And blame Pavarotti.
Yes, it's Pavarotti's fault.
Leading up to the pandemic, there was chip issues for PlayStation, I think it was, and Xbox. They couldn't get enough chips. I assume to feed the workers to keep them making consoles.
Oh my! No, I'm gonna end. No.
And so essentially they've what was it again? They're going to make 20% fewer Switch consoles, and so up until March, so that'll round out to 24 million less consoles being made.
Awesome.
Right, say goodbye.
Bye.
Do the thing. Bah. Bah. ASMR goodbyes. Bah.
Oh! I squeaked the thing.
Isn't bye.
No, it's still that. You have to do this. You have to do it like this. Bye.
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 Abigail. Bye.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Bye.
Oh, he cut me again. So if you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. You can always subscribe. You can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification button. You can hit that like button, the share button. That'd be fantastic. You can leave a comment down below. All comments are welcome. We will omit the ones we don't like. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com.
Excellent.
What was that?
I just heard myself going, excellent. Like with my thumb up for some reason.
We're gonna go away now and we're gonna go sleep.
Yeah.
Because we're both exhausted. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.